EYL, why would you interview the nigga who did the robbery instead of the niggas who got robbed?
So I entered into a situation where I subleased from the person who had it before, right? A lot of personalities and egos clashing, and for me, I just try to keep the drama away because I know in the shop we're selling friendship.
Because I'm not listening to this cat,
Come on,
nigga.
It ain't cat.
This is 110% cat.
It ain't cat.
All our fucking work.
All your work?
You're damn right,
Wow.
nigga. Your shit ascended when I was up there.
Wow.
Everybody knows that.
So when you left, how did I get
It ain't
500,000 more subscribers?
Everybody knows.
And you ain't got 100,000 yet.
I don't need
How you did
100,000.
that? How did you
I'm in
do
the same place
Do
you
it for
are.
yourself, nigga.
That's the difference.
What,
I'm
you do it for yourself?
I don't have to have 100,000. I'm making my money.
Stop it. Get some help.
What's Gucci? Welcome back. This is the Furious Robinson podcast, and I'm your host, Furious, your curator of conversation, wordsmith aficionado, voted most likely to be trending down the timeline. Hit the like button early, drop a comment, sub. This is a Sick Times Media production. You see the planes. Math Hoffa is now once again speaking babble into the mic. He stepped into the EYL podcast, and he was just saying things that did not make logical sense to me. They sounded like fallacies in real time.
I'm a man of my word.
A liar! 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 You're a liar! You're a liar!
And if you give me your word, I expect that you're gonna stand on it. And there were a couple situations with the co-hosts where they didn't want to stand on their word. And it bothered me because it's like, yo, we got all this success. Why are you guys doing things now? Like, why are you messing up the whole blueprint of the situation?
And I hate to seem like I'm taking a side, but yo, if you're the owner of a business, if you're the leader of a company, if you're the one controlling 90% or the majority of the aspects of the business, I'm gonna give you the majority of the blame. So when Math Hoffa sits on this podcast and states things like he understood every avenue of the business,
One of the things that I don't even want to.
No, we waiting on
get into. Okay, all right. So I had a deal with Esso and Hynaken. They signed contracts, and the show started to take off. Pocket watching. People are like, okay, we signed these contracts to get paid this, but now the show is doing this. A lot of personalities and egos clashing, and for me, I just try to keep the drama away because I know in the shop we're selling friendship.
Bro, what are you talking about, man?
what are we really talking about? He said in the shop we're selling friendship. What does that have to do with a contract negotiation? What does that have to do with business?
That's really what's being sold, friendship. And if there's turmoil, if there's fakeness, whatever, it's not gonna work. It's gonna pick up on camera.
All while kicking Esso's back in a couple of months ago for not having 100,000 views, but is now repurposing his own content and getting minimal views.
You gave me a contract. I'm not gonna sit here and let him cap no more.
I'm not
You
capping.
gave me a contract, nigga, and you say, yo, come up with a show. I said, I don't gotta come up with a show. I got bag fuel. And tell this nigga.
And what did I say?
I'm gonna tell this nigga
what I said.
what I said, nigga.
No.
When
No,
you
no,
was the
no,
nigga
no,
telling
no,
me,
no,
don't
How
do
did
this
you
shit.
let him talk to you like
I
that?
told this nigga, I said, yo, you want a show? I got a show. I said, yo, take back fuel. Nobody want to see that shit.
No,
Nobody
you
want
did.
that.
And that's tough because Math Hoffa was making $200,000 a month. At the peak of his channel, 6 figures monthly, and this is where we're at. So it's a masterclass to me in how ego continues to create a failing business model.
Because I'm not listening to this cat,
Come on.
nigga.
It ain't cat.
This is 110% cat.
It ain't
nigga.
cat.
All our fucking work.
All your work?
You're damn right,
Wow.
nigga. Your shit ascended when I was up there.
Wow.
Everybody knows that.
So when you left,
It ain't
how
the
did I
same.
get
It ain't the
500,000 more
same.
subscribers?
Everybody
without you?
knows.
And you ain't got 100,000 yet.
I don't need
How you did that?
100,000.
How did you
I'm
do
in the
it?
same place
Do
you
it for
are.
yourself, nigga.
That's the difference.
What,
I'm
you do
here.
it for yourself?
I 200,000. I'm making my money.
What do you do when you have $1 million podcast that's bleeding views? Your entire cast co-host left you dry for bad business, and the only person left to blame is the man in the mirror. Math Hoffa was running one of the more curated hip-hop roundtables on YouTube and in the space. He had a dope cast from Bigger to Mecca to Esso, Hynaken. Somehow, some way, he let his ego tarnish that entire situation. The entire cast left.
So yeah, we're out of power. We can't shoot in here. You know what I'm saying?
So while Esso and Hynaken run laps like they're lapping you right now, Math, as they continue to increase the levels on bag fuel and increase that retention, you're sitting around on EYL still debunking bad narratives.
People need to know this too, because this is important for content creators to understand. There's a thing when the YouTube algorithm starts to change. And everybody felt that from a monetary standpoint, views standpoint, all of that. So it's like, it's difficult to run a business when you're pretty much, okay, banking, I'm hitting this number every single month. And then things change, it's out of your control. You don't really necessarily know how to go about that, right? That's something that is not talked about enough. But that happened, that affected everybody across the board.
But that's
privy to that then.
But if you're the person that's running everything, you're the person that's like, okay, I'm putting the guests together, you're controlling the flow of the conversation, kind of send people like, we want to go here, we want to go here, we want to go here. All right. Then you're handling the uploads. You know everything. Like, no one in that shop could tell me about the business of it because I knew every aspect of it. And I controlled every aspect of it. So the things that I know are like, I know we did good this month. But come January, the ad rate is going to drop and it's going to be dead until May. So let's hold off on whatever we got to do at this time or whatever. And people, they didn't understand that. They just felt like, oh, well, he got it.
Let's hold off? That's your answer? Let's hold off? So let's just wake it up, because Math Hoffa is living in a delusional land. This is a fairy tale fallacy to me, because if you're the leader of a company, if you're the leader of a business, and essentially you understand every component, as you just said, and you understand every dynamic, you now know you're gambling by solely trying to get your income from AdSense and the YouTube algorithm. Why, as a businessman, would you not say, damn, I understand what's coming. I'm forecasting. I'm mitigating risk as a business professional. No, Math Hoffa isn't doing that. He's buying 20K bags at Louis, word to Bigger. If I'm making 200K a month, respectfully, I'm going to start to leverage my catalog. I'm gonna go ahead and go to Spotify. I'm gonna go to Apple, maybe DraftKings. I'm going to find a place to secure income so I can pay my talent. If I know talent is driving the ship, yes, I'm the name on the billboard, I'm the name on the headliner, cool, but I know I have good talent, Bigger, Esso, Hynaken, as you can see, because bag fuel is on fire, Mecca. If I have this top tier talent and I know they need to be paid, let me pay them and then let me go secure the bread, or let me go secure the bread so I can pay them. But the answer can't be as grown men, because men have bills, men have kids, men have to provide for their families. Can the answer be, let's wait, let's hold off? Fuck out of here.
You can't say it's about business with me if we ain't doing business.
If I'm a grown-ass man and I know I have a show in the bag, as Esso and Hynaken did, they had bag fuel, they understand that, they see the IP, they see the vision, and there's a goofy in my way, AKA Math in this component, not to call this man a goofy, but this is goofy. Pay these men. You making 200K a month. You telling me you couldn't drop these dudes a 5K, a 10K, a 15, nothing? So now this is a situation where Esso and Hynaken are disgruntled co-hosts, and Math Hoffa still lacks accountability on all fronts in this situation to me.
And what did he say on lip service? I blocked their money and I blocked their deal.
And on lip service, he asked us to come back on the show. And you know what I said?
Hell no.
This to me was sick. Instead of structuring the deal, okay, let's do a profit sharing agreement. Let's set it up to where maybe I can pay you on the back end. No, this man Math Hoffa got algorithm excuses. You blaming your business on the YouTube algorithm.
How? How? What are you talking about?
That just shows me you have no sense of business. Because if you're not setting up a back structure, a backup plan behind your YouTube algorithm, AKA a newsletter, AKA something that's your own landing page or a website, something that's garnering the attention away from YouTube, a different secondary platform. So I can't champion that. I can't sit around and just let this man get off the wildest statements because Rashad and EYL did not check. Nobody said anything. They let him get it off. And that's cool. But when you really look at it, his business is failing. When you put the numbers on the screen, when you really try to unpack and break this down, you can't go from having RFK on your podcast, sitting down in a barbershop, to now you're doing repurposed content. You clipping up your own content, repackaging it back to your fans, and then still trying to eat off that same ad revenue. It's nasty. If Math Hoffa was a true creator, he would step away from trying to promote his music all over his YouTube page and really get in the bag. Really elevate and step up to essentially where he should be on the hierarchy of podcasts in the hip hop and media space, but he's not. So the fact that he can sit around on these podcasts and tell these fairy tales and fables into a camera continuously, I see why Esso always charged up. I see why he's always boiling, because if somebody was playing in my face essentially like this and kind of pushing these narratives, I would be sick as well. So you tell me what you think. If you had a thriving YouTube channel that flopped and fumbled because of ego, and all of your ex-co-hosts are calling you out in real time, but yet it's still their fault, I have to call a spade and look at this very clearly. But I gracefully digress. Drop a comment, sub, like the video. This is the Furious Robinson podcast, a Sick Times media production. Stay dangerous.